some things changed behind me. I have, it's like a canvasy and metal shelving unit back here. And you can actually see I spent some time reorganizing some stuff last night. So all good things, of course. Part of the great thing about working in the accounting department at a home flooring company, I have some flooring samples that I got to take home because they're discontinued and they make great backgrounds for pictures, so I have those. The little earring holder my stepson Xander got me for Christmas. Really cool. So there's been a few upgrades and changes in my room since the last video has been posted. I now have more room for more beads. So I should buy more beads, right? Okay, today is going to be a little bit different. I'm not making jewelry, so we won't be making that together, but instead we're going to be making a sun catcher. And this will be my first time I'm trying to make the sun catcher. I've seen them everywhere. I've seen them on Pinterest. I've seen them on other jewelry places. So I drew some inspiration from that. And because I am thinking spring already, I know winter hasn't been here long and I keep saying it, but yes, I am thinking spring and I'm ready for it. And it's gonna be a while before it gets here. We're supposed to get about 6 to 7 inches of snow next week on Tuesday. But you know what? Inside my house, it's going to be spring, and inside my heart, it's going to be spring, and inside my mind, it's going to be spring. So that's not going to affect me at all. So we're going to kind of get right into it, and we will stumble our way through this. I don't make pro tutorials. You guys know that. I'm a let's see how it goes kind of person. So let's try to do this together. I will let you know where I got the main supplies and everything, and I'll give you an idea where I got some of my beads. So I'm going to flip you around and we're going to get moving on the sun catcher. Okay everyone, I'm back and I am going to tell you what I'm doing as I am trimming wire off of the project that I was going to start today. And for some odd reason, my camera was on lapse, so it kept like doing like little 2-minute segments, and I'm glad I only got maybe about 10 minutes through, so I didn't get very far, but I want to start from the beginning. So I'm going to talk you through a few things while you stare at my beads, and I trim this off, kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone type of deal. So what I have going on here is we are going to make that sun catcher, and we're going to use some craft rings. We have an assortment of beads out here in front. Some are from my stash, some are from previous boxes. So like this one, not these. Okay, so this one and these are all from the curated bead box. This one was from the month of December, and these were from January. These I pulled out of one of those Jessie Jane Beads little mini kits that I got. I pulled it out of the black one because there's some clear and in there, and then there is some clear with like a silver painted on. And we're using silver today, so I thought that'd be really pretty. These little check glass melons came from Beadbox Bargains, which I kind of wish I would have bought more of them because I love them. They're really cute. These came from Wendy, and so did these. These are just little purple tiny beads that came from my stash. Not really sure where they all came from, but I've got like 3 different types of purple in there. I have my little rhinestone rondelles from my stash. And believe it or not, you guys, these little teeny mini ones, which I absolutely love, came from Temu, and they were like super inexpensive, and they're really cute and they're really good quality. And then I have my other little silver spacer beads. We're going to use 22 gauge, I'm using the Beadalon German steel, German steel wire. As you can see, I'm still doing this, but I am taking this apart. I'm using 2 little craft rings, and I also have pulled out some sari silk because we're going to use that to hang our little sun catcher when we're done. And the reason I'm using sari silk and not chain is because I think the sari silk is going to you know, kind of go with the color some more. I would probably pick chain if I was going to hang it outside, but it's going to hang in a window. So I got this beautiful green color out of my stash, and I just absolutely love that green color. And for anyone else who, you know, is adoring the spring colors, even though we're not in spring right now, I am right there with you. I love all the colors, like I've said before, but I was getting really over all the just, you know, blue color palette. It was just all blue, all blue, all blue. And I was pretty much done with it. And so I'm embracing mixing up a bunch of colors. One other thing that we're going to use, and I don't know how we're going to use it yet, but it's got to work its way in there somehow. Okay, say two rings, 2 craft rings. You'll get a better view of that when I remove all the beads. There's this little hummingbird toggle that I have, and I can't remember. I think it was Beadbox Bargains had them, but I have a whole bunch of them because I thought they were just precious. Somehow we are going to work this in, because when I look at all these colors, I think of a bright floral garden, and when I think of that, I think of hummingbirds love bright flowers. That's what they're attracted to. So we're going to have to work him in somewhere. All right, so before this battery runs out, let's get going on a few things, and if I have to change out to my other battery, I will. It'll give everybody a quick little break. And I'm just going to move all these beads off to the side so we can do what we need to do here. Stack some of these trays up because we need some elbow space. All right. Oops, still got that little piece of... And I really honestly didn't get too far into it. So for those of you who are cringing about how much wire I may have wasted, I probably wasted about 12 inches of wire. Not a big deal. All right, so here we go. Now, these are just your regular run-of-the-mill craft rings. Hold on, I'm going to grab my tape measure and I'll measure this out for you. I don't think it's really a big deal on what size you would want to use. But just so you know, I'm using, this one's a 4-inch, the big one is a 4-inch, and the small one's a 2-inch. And I'm just making kind of a small sun catcher. And honestly, it's probably one that you could even hang in your car on the rear of your mirror. My rings, I'm not super happy with like how they were made. There's a spot here where it was, you know, welded closed, but just fine because that's what you got to do. But it's almost like a little crack. And it's not open, it's not split or anything, but it's bumpy. And then this little guy, they used like a totally different like silver solder for it. So got him from Amazon. I am not going to recommend getting from Amazon unless you were planning on using macrame cord or anything like that. Then that's one thing, but that's not what we're doing. We're not macrameing. So we're going to hide some of that with our wire because we do want these two to be kind of held together right here. This is going to be the top of our sun catcher, and then this is going to be the bottom. And I'm really watching my battery life because I know it's probably going to go on me. All right, so we're just going to start here on the one side, and I'm leaving probably about a 2-inch tiny piece right here, and I'm just going to wrap that. I'm trying to hold it together there, Jody. Wrap that wrap that around the 2 circles. When you first start the little wrap, it's a little weird, and you have to kind of adjust it with your pliers, right? Anytime when you start to wrap 2 things together like that, you always have to kind of go back in and adjust it. And I'm just going to wrap it to where I can hide that little piece. And I am just going to squeeze that down. All right. And then you want to make sure that this is going to stay flat. They have a tendency to roll. And so just every so often you want to check it. Actually, we're not going to tuck that, are we? We're just going to trim that right off. Right there. Because it's not going to tuck. All right. So it will want to roll and not be lined up exactly where you need it to be. So I'm just going to squish that together some more, and then we're going to take our longer piece and we're going to kind of overlap that one end of your wrap just a little tiny bit. Now, mind you, this is just me going off of what I've seen other people make and trying to like figure out how they did what they're doing and trying to come up with my own ideas. So I'm sure there's probably a few of you out there who have made these, and if you have any awesome suggestions, you know I'm always open to great suggestions. Please let me know in the comments, and yeah, or if you're a friend of mine and we're friends on Facebook or whatever, let me know. Give me a little heads up. Okay, so my wrap doesn't look like the neatest, right? It's not the prettiest, but it's going to hold. And our sari silk is going to hide some of that. So we're okay with that not looking the prettiest. It looks okay, but it's not the best. So now let's go ahead and trim off this wire. And don't worry, we will use this piece of wire. And I'm just going to squish it down in there, try to hide that down in there a little bit, just so it doesn't cut me while I'm doing this. All right, so there is our start. And now let's dump some fun colors. Let's start with our cute pinks. Let's do some of these really cute little stripey colors. Just dump them out. Doesn't matter what colors we get. Let's do a couple of these little blue ones. I'm not doing this by any pattern or like striping the colors or anything by any means. I'm just beading. I'm just going to bead, and it's going to be very random, and I think it's going to be really fun. So we're just going to keep on dumping some of these out. Oh, there's a lot of green ones. And leave the big ones in the little container for now to see because we'll probably put those on more towards the bottom of our sun catcher. All right, so it's really hard to get in these little cracks up here, so we're not going to do that. I might have an idea for that to kind of finish this off. I have something in my head, but that doesn't always mean anything. So we're going to start right about here. So that's about a good inch down from the top, right? And we're going to wrap the top one a few times, and I'm pretty sure you kind of crisscross this wrap a little bit, just so that way your wire sits straight and you don't have your wrap on one side and then your bead in the middle and then your end wrap on the other side. You want it to kind of be, I don't know if you can tell, it's kind of in the middle. So I wrapped around the side of it and around this side of it. So it's kind of in the middle now. All right, so just about 3 to 4 wraps should be sufficient. And then you can trim it off and go ahead and designate a front and back, because your back is going to be where all your trimming off of your wire is. All right, so let's find a cute little bead for here. Let's do this little green rondelle. And my mat is like sliding all over the place because I'm getting like ferocious with this stuff. All right. So see how that little bead fits in there perfectly? Let me zoom in just a little bit so you guys can see a little bit more. I don't know if it's like too much, if it's blurry. If it is, I apologize. But it's sitting right between the two just perfectly. So that's where we're going to take it, and we're going to wrap around the bottom ring. And we're going to do it the same way. So we're going to like wrap on this one side. And I'm using my hands, not the pliers. I feel like sometimes I can control my hands better than the pliers. All right, so then we're going to bring it through the middle there. And this time you might need to use your pliers because it's such a small little area. And just give it a good tug. And don't worry about if your wire gets a little kinky, it's okay because it's going to get wrapped anyway. And then let's bring it through this big side one more time. and kind of go underneath that bead so that it's all sitting in one line. And then bring it to the back, and we can trim off that little scrap, and we'll squish it down. All right. Okay, so now flip it back around and just give this a nice, gentle squish into your mat and make sure that it's all lining up okay. And so far, so good. It looks great, right? We got one little bead on there. All right. So I'm going to move those off to the side in my way. Because I think I need to move this up a little bit so you can see a little bit better. There we go. Okay, so we have that. And let's go ahead and cut off some more wire. You can use thinner wire if you're more comfortable with it. 22 gauge is about the thinnest that I like because I'm not really a wire wrapper person. I know there's some people who use like the, 18, or not 18, the 24, 26, or even 28 gauge wire, but I don't really use that. I don't do all the really pretty intricate wire wrapping that some of the artists do. So like 22 gauge is usually about the smallest I need. All right, so there's my little wrap, and let's go ahead and just leave it with the little tail on it for a second. And let's see what we want to use next. Now, I'm trying to get some beads that are going to just be one bead right now. So, but I want them to fit right inside that spot. So let's see, what about this pink one? I think this little pink Chuck glass melon will fit perfectly. And you can squish this up more towards the top as we go too, because the wire will slide until you get this thing full. And if you put them too close together, you'll end up doing like this number, and then it'll be weird up here. So we do want to keep them a little bit further apart, but we can move all that around as we go too. All right, so I got my little pink Chuck glass bead on there, and we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to wrap it around, down underneath that bead there, and back behind that little circle. And we're going to just stick it through in between on the other side of that pink bead. Use our pliers to yank this through nice and tight. And then we'll just go one more time around this side and underneath and through the small hole again. Okay, so now we have two on there. Now let's flip it over and let's trim off these little excess pieces that well, this big tail, because we will use that. But we'll trim off that little piece. Throw that in the thing. Let's squish down these little sharp edges. Just don't want someone picking it up and like scraping their hands or whatever. All right. That one's stubborn. Right, and there we go. There. All right, so now when we flip it over on this side, we have our little thing started. So then we'll go here and then all the way down. I figured I would try to get half of this beaded so that you guys could see, and if we run into any like bumps in the road, we can address them right away, get each other's input maybe in the comments about things that we could try to improve, or if we don't need to improve anything, then hey, we're just good to go and we can just keep on trucking. So next thing, I just want to kind of lay in some beads just to see what I can mess with here. Now I do have these big silver ones, and those are really pretty too, but it looks like I could use like maybe a little purple bead. Maybe I'm not quite ready for those. Why don't we do this blue one and maybe a couple of these little silver ball spacers on the other side of them. Let's try that. Let's see if that works. I'm really watching that camera battery close because I had it shut off on me accidentally on that one video, and I was so upset. I was like, man, We missed like a good 10 minutes, but it's okay. All right, so now we're just gonna wrap the next one on here. And one more time here. There we go. Some of my wraps end up looking much neater than the other ones, and I feel like I do them all the same way, but I must not be. All right, so we got that one on, and now we can feed on our beads. I want to make sure I'm doing this in the direction you guys can see. All right, got our silver, our little blue one, and a silver. And yep, that's just about perfect. So it really does help for you to lay out your beads in the little space before you do it, just so you know that if you're using beads that are going to be too big, it is going to force this ring to either pop back or pop out like towards you. And you don't want that. You want it to be nice and flush. All right, so now we have those beads picked out. Now we can go through the little ring, come up and around underneath those beads there, back through the ring again, and through the space in between the two sets of beads. Get a good tug, a good pull on that so it's nice and tight. And then one more time through the little circle. And I just flung a bead somewhere. Flung it off my table. All right, so there we go. All right, so that bottom one looks really crisscrossy, but you know what? I'm not really bothered by it because, you know, when you're in nature, we're gonna do this. When you're in nature, you have like little vines and everything like that. It just looks viney. That's all. I'm okay with that. We can tell a whole big story about it. It really truly is the garden. All right, so now we can squish that little piece down. There we go. And then come back and just make sure your beads are in the right spot and your wire's bending in the right spot. There we go. See, cute so far, right? Really cute. All right, and we can keep going because that looks like I still have some battery life. All right, so next I want to do, I feel like, oh, those two are stuck together. They must have got painted together. Let's see. Here we go. Let's do this green one and maybe this like silvery white one like that, and then maybe this little purple guy like that. That'll be pretty. All right, so let's do that. Maybe we should do the little bead opposite. So like maybe the smaller bead should be on the inside because, yeah, that makes sense. All right, they take up less room and you need less room on the inside than you do the outside of the circle. All right, so let's go ahead and get our wrap going again. And around the back, let's go ahead and cut that off. So I don't poke myself. All right, so there's that. And I keep sliding my mat. I need to like tape it down or something with this project because it's making me do all kinds of crazy things. All right, so we have that, and now let's just squish in our little end because we don't need that sticking out. There we go. Nope, didn't quite get it. There we go, that's better. All right, so now that we have that, we know that we want to do our larger beads towards the top of the circle. So let's do this really pretty white one, clearish, silvery washed white one. And then let's do this little purple guy down here. And look at that, that fits like perfect. So that's gonna be good. So let's go ahead and wrap that one through our small ring again. And we're just gonna keep wrapping like this for a little bit. It's just going to be very repetitive, but the end result's going to be cute. If mine ends up looking half as good as some of the ones I've seen out there, I'll be thrilled. All right. Whoop. There we go. Use my pliers to pull that through. Pliers give me a little bit more strength than to maneuver it through there. All right, and now we can cut that part off and squish that down. And don't worry, that's still a piece I will use. I just won't use it on this project. I'll end up using it for something else. I can do a tiny wrap with it or something. I don't know. I'll use it for something. Okay, get that squished in there, and then flip it back over. Make sure your beads are still lined up nice and that they're not doing any kind of little wavy weird dance. If they are, just push them around and adjust them, and there, and they'll be nice and straight. All right, so next, let's see what we have. I do want to use one of these silver balls because they're pretty. So maybe towards the top a little bit here, but let's drop this little crystal rondelle in there. And then let's do this little pink stripey guy. And how about one of these purple? I wonder if that's, yeah, that's going to be enough space, I think, for those. So that's going to be perfect. But let's bring this down towards the bottom. Let's do it like so. Let's do it that way. All right. Okay, so now let's cut some more wire. And you will go through a lot of wire with this project. I mean, you're using probably about, depending on how many beads you're putting on, how many how big your thing is, you're probably using an average of 6 to 8 inches of wire for each time you do it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm over exaggerating, but it feels like I'm using a lot of wire. Got wild there for a second. There we go. And just squish it together if you need to. Make it cooperate. There. Okay, no more sharp pointy pieces. All right, so we said we wanted to do the silver one like so. And then how about we do this pink one? And then let's do this purple barrel, or like it looks like an egg. And then let's do like a little flat green rondelle. Is that too much bead? Nope, that seems just about perfect. All right, so let's get that on there. So now we're going to wrap that around the bottom ring, underneath, and through, between. Grab my pliers because I need plier strength. Whoops. See, and the wires really can get wild. So you really want to make sure you're doing it nice and tight. And probably just one more time. And I'm sorry if my hands are blocking. You really got to like bear down on these little guys. All right. So there we go. And it looks like it didn't slip off anywhere or anything. It looks like my wire probably like bent itself a little bit when I struggled pulling that wire through, but that's okay. You can straighten it out with your fingers and you can always pinch that closed. And if it gets a little bit wavy, I mean, it's okay. Everything that's beautiful has imperfections, right? All right, let's see. I'm going to trim off a little bit more of that little tail because it's kind of being kind of a bugger. All right, so I got that trimmed off. And now we can just close that up more. There we go. Okay, so we got that done. All right, so that looks good. That looks really cute so far. All right, so now it's going to be like, looks like the circle's going to be a little offset. So I think we should go on this side over here too, because it's naturally like pushing it over. So if we do some on this side, it should keep it nice and snug here. So let's do that before this gets all out of whack, and that way it doesn't get all uneven and strange on us. All right, so we're going to do on the other side, we're going to do one of these little pretty purple ones. So right here, right across from the little green one that we did. And we'll just wrap. Boy, starting that top one is like the hardest. You got such a tiny space to work in. All right. Okay, so let's squish that together and we'll slide it up and we'll get our bead on. Go ahead and cut that off. Squish that down. All right, let's get that little purple bead on there. Oh, come on. Where are you? There it is. All right, so now we want to space that right about where the other one is. So it looks like right about there. That looks about right. It's about a thumb width. So we're going to hold that little guy tight and wrap through the small one. All right, pull that through. Nice and tight. And push it back through and bring it back through. I keep like pulling it towards me because I'm trying to gather all my strength. Right, and then one back. And then that should be good. Let's go ahead and squish our little wires together and keep them nice and tucked in. And flip it over and cut that off. And just squish down our little tail. All right, this needs to be squished just a little bit more. There we go, like so. All right, so it looks like a good space over there, and now we can do more on this side. So on this side, let's do, let's use this. Oh, we can use that purple one there. We have like a blue one. That blue one's pretty. Let's use that blue one right here, because that looks like it's going to be enough space for it. It's going to be fine. All right, so we'll do that. See, it's a little time consuming, but I think, you know, it's kind of not time consuming at the same time. You know what I mean? It's like you're able to do a lot in a little space, and it's kind of therapeutic, honestly. Just putting all those colors together and wrapping them and, you know, stringing them on wire and wrapping the wire. All right, cut that little back part off. And let's string on that blue bead. There we go. And then let's bring it up closer. And I just want to make sure it is kind of lined up with my other one over here on this side, just to make it even. Let's bring that through. Grab my pliers for some assistance. I want that nice and tight. Back through there and under this side, and then just back there. There we go. Okay, now we can just squish those together again like we did the purple one. Flip it over, trim off that little back part. Squish down those little sharp things. Flip it back over. See how this automatically starts dropping up or jumping up? So you just want to keep like making it lay flat. So you keep doing this between every one and it should work out. I say should. All right. You can even maneuver the beads a little bit too that are on the wire. You just kind of pull that wire up and push the bead back, and then it'll help it stay kind of flush like that. All right, so let's do some more on this side, and then I will pause it and I will do some more. We'll come back, do the last few maybe that we'll have here, because we'll probably have like a bigger one here. And then we will also figure out how we're going to finish this off. We're going to figure out how we want to use our little decorative pieces. So we will figure all that out, and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back, and you can see I got a little bit further, but I wanted to bring you back in because we're getting close to the end of this. We probably have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. So we're going to actually do the big one that goes right down the middle here. And I do want to use this because I think that's really, really pretty. So let's do that big one real quick, and let's see what will go around it. So maybe that blue, I think maybe we're going to do the big one down here a little bit more. And then maybe let's do this little green guy. I love these little tiny green crystals. They're so pretty. I don't know what it is, but I have an obsession with tiny beads. I can't really use a lot of seed beads. I'm not a seed beader, but I love small, like rondelles, small little beads. I just love them. I'm going to bring in a little bit more. Sorry guys if that makes your stomach upset. All right. So we have that, and then let's see, what else should we use? Maybe this purple barrel style one right there. Okay, yep, so that's going to fit perfectly. All right, so now that we know that, let's go ahead and move these off. And I'm sure this piece of wire, is that going to be enough? It might be a little tight. Let's save that for one of the smaller pieces. I like to have enough wire to work with. Just cut another chunk of wire off here. All right. Okay, so let's flip this around. Now this should be a lot easier because it's got this big space. So again, we're just going to wrap, but as I do it, I'm crisscrossing over to the other side of the wire too, just so that wire is like straight and it's not like all the wrap is on one side and then your wire is coming down around the other. And then one more time to the back there, and then we can trim that off. Make sure I'm just trimming one piece off, not trimming the whole thing. And then we can squish that. Let's squish it together. Again, here we go, flip it back over and just give it another little squish just so that they're kind of close together. And then let's go ahead and string on our beads. There we go. Get on there. I can't wait to see what this is going to look like when the sun comes through the window. I think this is going to go right in my living room window because, you know, we have to put stuff sometimes like on our windows, like in this, especially in the spring when the birds are like really coming back, because we've had birds hit our window and it makes me so upset. And we have a bird feeder out there, so I think that they're flying towards the bird feeder and then hitting the window. And it hasn't happened often, but it's happened often enough to upset me. So, which I feel like I need to put like bunch of different little things on my window, little sun catchers and stuff. Plus it'll just look cute anyway. So this would actually be, you know, like a really good little birthday present for somebody, or Galentine's Day for your bestie. Maybe you could do it all in like little hearts. That would be so cute. You can find heart-shaped rings on Amazon. I've seen them. So they do have heart-shaped rings. You just really want to watch your quality. And if you end up getting something like what we did, just remember you can always hide some of the things that you don't want to see. There's always a will. There's always a way. If there's a will, there's a way. That's what I wanted to say. All right, so let's squish that down. And I'm still just thinking about exactly what do I want to do with that hummingbird. I might just feed it in here like this as like a bead and have it in with the beads, because I think that would be really cute. We'll give that a shot. We'll see if we can do it. All right, just squish that a little bit more. Some of my wire wrapping is a little less desirable, but I think that with all the colors on here, the last thing you're going to know is how imperfect your wire wrapping is, right? Because look at how pretty that looks already. And it's not even hanging anywhere, and it's not even all the way filled in. All right, so next let's do, we need like one of these little purple ones here, probably a little silver one. Let's do this pink melon. Let's do this guy. In between those, let's do one of these little rhinestone spacers. And this blue one. And then, let's see. Well, maybe not that blue one because we have this blue. So let's do this one down here. And then maybe we could do just another little pink one here, a little purple. Yeah, I think that would work. We might need to put another teeny tiny bead in, but I think that'll work. Let's try that. Okay. All right, so we got ourselves a nice, still long piece here. And let's just go right up here. Whoop, I'm going up too far. It's going to be way too much wire. There we go. And what's nice about this is you can always slide everything around as you need to right now until you're done. Whoop. And just want to pull it straight down here. There we go. Squish that together. Let's flip it around. So tomorrow, because I'm still kind of getting to know the area, tomorrow morning we're going to go to the one meat market that's in our area. They're really great. They put together different meat boxes for really good prices, but they're also just a great place that we like to go occasionally to get our meats. I'm not super picky about a lot of my meat, but when it comes to like steak, getting it at the grocery store, it just doesn't, it's not the same to me. It's not as good to me. I don't know, but we've been hungry for some steak and asparagus. So of course I can get asparagus at the store or whatever, at the grocery store, it's fine. But once the farmer's market opens and that stuff's in season, I am all about it. I am there getting it. So we're going to take my mom to the meat market tomorrow, and so she can be familiar where that's at, because she's the same way as me. Like, she'll buy some meat at the grocery store. I do it often. I mean, I don't always have time to go out to the meat market and then go to, you know, a couple different grocery stores to get the rest of the stuff I need. So usually when we do it, we buy enough for, you know, to help fill up the freezer a little bit. And it's a good pay period because we get paid out for any unused vacation time or sick time at the end of the year. So you end up having a really nice size check. It's really kind of great. So we like to use that extra money to stack up our deep freeze. So we'll go down there and we'll get some steaks, maybe some nice pork chops. They make the best bratwursts, like the best bratwurst I've ever had in my entire life. So many different flavors. And they have like a jalapeno cheddar one that is just so good. But my favorite one, which I can't have right now because I'm doing like a low carb and, you know, no sugar diet. So I can't really have that at the moment. But still get some for the freezer, because when I'm done doing that and I'm back to eating somewhat normal food, I want that immediately. but it's pineapple, and it's just so good. It's bratwurst, but it has like pineapple in it, and it just something about the sweet and savory of like meat. I don't know what it is, but it's so good. It's kind of like when you go somewhere and they do, you know, the balsamic Brussels sprouts with the bacon, and they put a little bit of brown sugar in it. I mean, that's amazing, which is like probably also one of my favorite foods. I love Brussels sprouts made like that. All right, so I may have put too many beads on that one, but it's going to have to, we're going to deal with it. All right. I think this is really all a matter of like just playing with it to get it right, you know, and I hope you guys don't mind me using this space as like, hey, let's practice this. Let's try to make this. I've never made it before, because I really like to do it like this, because then I'm talking myself through. It's forcing me to like think of ways to do things and explain it. So if it doesn't make sense when I'm saying it out loud, then maybe it's not a good idea. But I enjoy doing it that way. All right, so we're going to put one more here. And I would like to use another one of these here, I think, down here towards the end. Let me think for a second. Maybe if we put one of these little green guys down here just to kind of space it off the, there we go, like that. And then maybe one of these silver balls. Whoa. Goodness. Let me try that again. One of those little silver balls maybe. And then, no, we had too many of those pink ones. Let's do this little blue one. Let's do this one. And how about, well, we didn't use this blue one. We can use that one. Yeah, let's try that. I think that'll work. And then remember, like I said, I'm going to try to string this on one of the strands here, so it just kind of sits above the beads a little bit. We're going to try to do that. All right, a couple pieces here. Some days I feel like I'm losing strength in my hands. It's like I need those like remember those things, they were like squish 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 like that to like make your hands stronger. I need those. You would think this would make my hands like super strong and muscular, but I don't know. Unless maybe my hands are just tired today, who knows. You know, something that I did, I made purse charms before, and I make them like super full and just full of like life, right? There's nothing skimpy about them. Like there's probably 100 things on these purse charms. And one of the ladies I worked with, I made one for her. Young lady, I should say. She just had her first baby last month, and really cute baby. So anyway, her mom saw her purse charm, and she's like, "Where did you get that?" And she says, "Oh, my coworker Jody made it for me." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, that is so cool." So her mom came in and was having lunch with her one day, and she had asked me if I'd come into her office and meet her mom. I'm like, sure. So I went in there and I met her mom, and her mom says, she says, I would like you to make those purse charms for my sisters. And I said, oh, sure, I can do that. And so I told her, I said, well, just do me a favor. When you get home, send me a text message. I gave her my number. I said, send me a text message. Tell me a little bit about your sisters. So, like, I want to know what their favorite colors are. I want to know, like, where do they live? Do they have any hobbies? You know, that kind of stuff. And she's like, oh, okay. So when she got home, she sent me a text message and she named off her sisters and just like a little tiny little paragraph about each one of them. And she had 5 sisters, or has 5 sisters. And I'm like, all right, so I'm going to make 5 of these. And, you know, I told her how much they'd end up being. And she said, okay. And I said, when do you need them by? She's like, it's no hurry. She's like, I know they're going to take some time. And she's right, they do, because I don't just do simple wraps. I wire wrap everything on because I don't want anything. When stuff's hanging off your purse or your backpack or your keychain, it's stuff's going to fall off, you know, it's just going to happen. So I wire wrap everything on. I use really super strong chain that's not, that's soldered shut. It's not open at all. So it takes a good bit of time. So I also had to, there was a few things I had wanted to order or go shopping for a couple of ladies because I didn't have certain charms that I kind of wanted for their personalities. And so I got all my supplies together and I started making them. It took me a full week of working on them every night. And they turned out so cute, so cute. I'll have to like, okay, so I have a jewelry page that I, on Facebook that I post things, like I post stuff that I've made. I haven't posted anything in a hot minute. I will post stuff for sale, that I will do too, and I've sold a few things from there. But if you go to Jody's Jewelry Creations on Facebook, and if you look in my albums, you'll see like a bunch of purse charms. And so I kept thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, I just can't possibly make all these purse charms and not make one for her too. Like, she needs to have one too. If her sisters have one, she needs to have one. So I made her one, and I did not let her know I was making her one. So I had to ask my work friend, I said, what is your mom into? This is what I'm doing. And she's like, oh my gosh, it's so sweet. So she ended up telling me, you know, my mom loves peacocks, and she loves, like, you know, all these different colors. And I'm like, perfect. So I did some hunting around and I found some really fantastic things for her. And she was so surprised when she came. I had everything individually, like, put in a really pretty little bag and all wrapped up with a little craft paper, like the brown, like, cardboardy paper tag hanging from it, and with each sister's name. And I had gotten, like, all her sisters have reached out to me through Facebook after she presented them. She presented them to them all at the same time. They were all going to be getting together for Easter. So she gave them to them all at the same time, and they were all so shocked and amazed by how pretty they were. So, so needless to say, I don't skimp on my products that I'm putting into those. And like I said, I wire wrap everything on. But it's just stuff like that. Like, I love stuff like that. Like, I never really have intentions of selling anything. I'll put a price on stuff, you know. And some things I've sold. Actually, one of the ladies that I went to high school with, she's a huge fan of my stuff. So she's like probably once every couple of months, she's like, what do you got that's new? And, you know, so I'll show her pictures and she's like, oh, I'll take that and that. And she loves, like, the big chunky jewelry, and she's not at all into, like, the little minimal stuff. So I feel like I really lucked out with that. Because I like all the jewelry. I mean, I like minimalist jewelry, and I love chunky jewelry. But anyway, I don't even know what I started talking about, and I think I veered off because I'm like concentrating on putting these beads on and talking at the same time. So if I just said about 80 things that didn't make any sense, you're welcome. And guess what? That's what my husband has to deal with on a daily basis. Oh my goodness. All right, so let's put our little hummingbird on here. Let's see how this will work out. I want it to be able to stay. And so what we might have to do is we may end up having to like glue it down onto the beads, which would be fine. I just want to see how it'll look. Oh, you guys, that's going to look cute. Do you see that? That's going to look adorable. All right, so let's finish stringing this. Oh, that's going to be so adorable. I think I need a smaller bead though, so that maybe it'll stay a little bit better. Let's do another one of these little teeny, teeny purple ones. Okay, and then spin that around. And if I could just get that to sit behind there better. There we go. All right, and let's finish stringing this one up. Sorry, I'm just trying to hold that little guy in place. I know my hands are probably hiding everything I'm doing. All right, and then we could use this little blue one. And then let's just end it with this little silver guy, like that. There, that'll look cute. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap that up. And we'll play around with it to see if we need to add any more. We could add more to it, or we could leave it a little more open like this. But at this point, I'm not really sure. Once I'm done with this one and one more, I'm gonna move everything around a little bit, just kind of see if I like the spacing and if it needs more or if it's fine. Okay, so let's flip it around back here and just squish that down. And oh, you know what? The hummingbird is going to stay just like that. Oh my gosh, that is super darling. Super, super darling. All right. Now we just need one more, I believe. Let me count this out just to make sure I have this right. I think this one was supposed to go over closer here. All right, so we have, yep, I think I need just one more right in here. All right, so we're gonna just kind of scoot that little hummingbird off there. Yep, so one more here, and then we should be good. All right. Oh, what is that wire doing? There we go. All right. So we need one more little chunk of wire. You guys are so patient. If whoever has not turned this off by now, thank you for sticking around. You make me happy. All right, let's do our last one here. I think I seriously did ramble for like, I don't even know like what we started, when I started talking to you. I say what we started talking about, like you guys are right here in the room with me. But you know, that's what I do. Like I really honestly feel like you guys are right here with me. Just like at another table in the same room. We're both drinking some iced tea and we're having a great time just gabbing about life, joking around about silly things and just having a great time. And I really need like some close to me people that do this, so we can get together like once a month and just have like a little beading party. It would be so much fun. It would be such a blast. And we can, you know, take turns getting each other's houses. And you know, bring a little snack and, you know, just have like a good long afternoon of just beading. It would be so nice. All right, so now we can finish this one. The little hummingbird's gonna drive me crazy for a second. All right, go above it. There we go. We can move him around and fix him too in a minute. He'll be fine. All right, so let's go ahead and string this on. And I think I want to, let's just be really super random. So let's do this. I don't want to use that big silver one. Let's do this big green one. Let's do a rhinestone spacer. And let's do this purple. Let's do one of these pink ones. Do one of these blue ones. And then let's do one of these pink ones. And it looks like we have room for a silver spacer. All right. Actually, we have room for a bigger bead than that. Maybe we do, I know, maybe do another rhinestone spacer. And instead of that skinny pink one, let's do a little bit of a fatter pink one, if I can find one. And then let's do the silver spacer. Actually, let's do a purple spacer. There, that's better. All right, so, gosh, you know what? We still have more room. Oh my goodness, how is that even happening? Oh wait, no we don't. I just had to straighten out my wire. All right, I almost made a big mistake. All right, so now this is going to get really, really tight in here. All right, but we can handle it. We can do it. Pull that through. Nice and snug. Oops, and then just one more time through here. And then we can trim it. Whoop. And squish it. Just like that. Let's flip it over. All right. Oh, I have it backwards. There we go. Now we got it right. All right, so now let's just play with it and see what we think. So I could still glue down that little hummingbird, which I probably might, just because he spins around pretty easy. And I think if I go grab my glue right now, I could probably just do it now. All right. So we still have some work to do, right? So we have this all done and it looks really cute, but we still have a little bit of work to do. So I'm just going to kind of slide this around. And I think maybe I have one more that I need to make. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We do. I do have one more I got to fit in here. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, so let's move this one closer to here. I thought it looked a little uneven. And this one down here, just a little bit. And then actually we won't have to glue the hummingbird because he'll sit right on top of the beads. And we actually need a small one right in here. So perfect. I have a small wire left. All right. I'm like, gosh, it just looks so uneven. All right. So good deal. Let's go ahead and finish this now for real. And then we'll do the other little pieces. And I know this video has been like over an hour, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. If you hung around this long, or if you fast forwarded, you know, that's fine too, because once you've seen somebody wrap beads, you've seen somebody wrap beads, and you want to get to the part that you really need to know something, I totally get it. I'm right there with you. I've done that before on videos too. It's like, okay, nope, I know that part. I'm good. Unless I was watching somebody like Wendy, where I just loved listening to her talk, and that was it. So, okay, and let's just do one more here. And let's see, what do we want to use? Let's use one of these. I love these silvery, crackly beads. Let's use one of those. Let's do one of these big silver spacers, because we don't have one of those right here. Do one of these little green ones right in the middle. Let's do purple. Let's do this light pink. Let's do this blue. And I think maybe just a tiny purple one. Let's do this purple one. Oh, there's a purple one right there. Let's not do that. Let's do a silver one instead. Okay, so that should be our last one. All right, that's going to be our last one, you guys. All right, so we're going to do it. My shoulders are tense. I'm putting all my strength into doing this. All right, and pull that through. And I will put the link on here where to find the craft rings that I got, because I even got some moon shapes and some star shapes. So if you guys are interested, I got them in gold and I got them in silver. The gold ones are actually better looking than the silver ones. For some reason, they did a better job matching up the soldering for the gold than they did for the silver. But I will put that link on here where you can get that. And then that way, now why do I have like such a big space? Is it because of my little... Okay, that's going to bother me. Why is that like that? Is it because of that? Or did I break a bead? No, I didn't break a bead. I think it's just jammed in there. If I loosen it up. I think I will end up gluing the hummingbird, because then it'll just be spaced out right. All right, so here we go. And we have our little hummingbird flying over top of it. It looks really cute. So now we can think about what we want to do. Do we want to use this here? And if so, you know, do we want to maybe put like a little crystal in the middle, or just maybe use this for a part of like to hang this? Let's just kind of mess with it and see what we think. So I definitely have this sari silk that I want to use, and I'm going to rip it in half because we might need to use it in half. And again, whoever told me to rip this, thank you. You're the best. All right. So what if because we definitely want to hide that. So let's do one of these numbers. Okay, so I'm just going to play with it so I can get it to hide our mess. There we go. That hides it nice. Then, I wonder if we do use this somewhere, or if we don't need to, and maybe we just hang a crystal instead, which I kind of like that. I think we won't use this. I kind of feel like I have to. No, we're not going to do it. We're just not going to do it. Okay, so, but I do want to hang this crystal here because I think that needs to be part of it. So what we're going to need then is our head pins. A head pin. And I wonder if maybe I should hang this one. No, I like this one better. And then we can do like this little silver ball. You guys, we are like almost done. And then do another little silver ball on top. Like so. And this one we'll just do a simple loop. And we're going to hang it from a jump ring. Oh, my simple loop turned out not great. All right, so now we just need a little bit bigger of a jump ring. And we're going to try to just feed that through here, through the sari silk. Maybe just loosen it up a little bit. I'm going to get it through both. Probably should do that first. All right. Come on. All right. We can string our little bead on. And where are my other pliers? There they are. Whoop. Okay, we got that. Now we can just tighten that back up again. But I want it to be kind of underneath so I can still hide that little bit of wire wrapping mess there. What does it look like back there? That great. Okay. Slide it over. There we go. And that I'll probably glue into place. Like I'll probably just put a dab of glue down here and just make sure that stays in place. And then right up here at the top, really all we need to do is just make a little knot. So we're just going to take both of them together and just do a nice little overhand knot. Just nice and neat. And you could, you know, use like some kind of closure or whatever if you wanted to, or large bead or whatever you want. But I think this has enough going on to where I'm satisfied with just having the green sari silk. And I think it looks really, really cute. All right, so here we are. You know what, you guys? It's not perfect, but, you know, I don't think it's bad for my very first one. And I will glue that little guy in place too before I hang it up anywhere. All right, so we're not going to glue anything right now, but I am going to clean up my mess. I'm going to get this on something where you can see it a little bit better, and I'll be right back, and we'll talk through the end of it, and hopefully we'll be good to go. I'll be right back. Okay, and I got everything cleaned up, and I cleared off my mat and made it go away. And so here is my little sun catcher that I made. Again, I'm going to glue this so that it stays right where it needs to stay and it doesn't flip around or get funky. I will pull this sari silk over and glue it down too, so it just kind of hides our little mess there. But there it is. There's our sun catcher. And I know the video probably doesn't do it any justice. If I zoom in, does it get blurry? Anyway, it's very colorful. It's very pretty. You can do some color schemes. You can make it seasonal. I really think this turned out cute. I'm going to put it on one of my windows tomorrow when hopefully the sun will be shining. And then you can see it with the sunshine on the next video. I'll make sure to take a picture of it or do a little short video for the next one. Who knows, maybe I'll be able to add it to this one real quick if Chris isn't really up on getting all the videos up right away. I know he was catching up when he got back from his little Christmas break he took to spend time with his daughter and his granddaughter, which was really super good for him. He needed that. Which is why all of my videos are pre-Christmas. But it's okay. You know what? All videos are timeless. I go back and watch Wendy's first ones, or Turquoise Street, some of her older ones too. I mean, their tutorials are timeless, honestly. You know, the things that you can learn in a tutorial, or even just the simplicity of watching somebody create something, is very satisfying to like our brains, I think, you know. So but this is it, and it's time consuming to make. It doesn't take a lot of material. Make sure you check out the show notes. I will let you know where I bought my rings from, and you know, you can go scope it out yourself so you can see. And basically all the other supplies are really up to you, whatever, you know. What did Wendy say? Your creative control. So the colors, the materials, whatever you are wanting to use will be perfect for your sun catcher. If by any chance you do make a sun catcher, can you please post it somewhere and tag me in it? I'm on Facebook, Jody Krontz on Facebook. What is my Instagram handle? I can never remember. Let me see. I'll put all these on there too. So if you wanted to tag me anywhere you can. Okay, so my Instagram is Jody Lee 1974. So if you want to follow me on any of the social media, or be friends with me on any of the social media, you absolutely can. I would really appreciate it. And that way, when we do make things, we can share them with each other. It'd be a wonderful place to share with each other. So I will put my Facebook profile on my show notes and my Instagram profile on there as well. And I'll put the Jody's Jewelry Creations on there too, so you can see anything that I've made before. And maybe, you know, if you want me to see if I can recreate something for you, I can. Anyway, so that's all I've got. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it didn't make you crazy. And I hope that my hands didn't get in the way too much. It's very, like, you have to get in there with your hands. And I hope that just me describing what I was doing was helpful. Anyway, I hope you guys have a really great night. I'm going to get off here, and I am going to find some PJs and go sit next to my husband for a little while. Good night, everyone. God bless, and have a wonderful weekend. Bye.